My colleague in university told me once, "Adefunke, go and check our final year handbook." He wrote, "You're going to be a hairstylist that will be known." And I can't remember writing that. It's just that I'm sure that when they asked a lot of us, what do you want to be in life? I had no clue. And I'm like, okay, what can you possibly be in life? And I'm like, I love hair. And I just wrote that casually. And so I had to go back and go and check my yearbook. And I'm like, oh wow, I wrote this 5 years ago and this is happening now. Even though I'm doing hair, I still feel like I don't want to be behind the chair forever. I still every day wake up and I'm like, what's the next plan? You're doing hair good.
Do you mean like, that you get bored at some
exactly,
point?
I feel like there's still more to break. There's still more groundbreaking things I can do. I just want to sleep in my old age and feel like I did it all. I accomplished it. I sought after everything I can and will be, and it happened.
Welcome to another episode of Be Inspired with Wumi Alabote. My guest today, she is a celebrity stylist. What's so inspiring about her journey is the fact that she was able to navigate from a 9-to-5 to full-time stylist. Her journey is so amazing. She didn't allow anything to hold her back. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this section. So let's dive in. I'm super happy to have you on the show.
I'm excited to be here too. This is like my first interview, I must say. So, yay.
Oh, that's so cool. So let's get the conversation started. I know that you used to be on a 9-to-5 schedule in the corporate world. Now you're a stylist. So can you please explain how did that happen?
Okay, so for me, working 9-to-5 in telecoms for 5 years was good because I feel like it helped me set my work ethics and introduced me to a world filled with like a lot of people. I didn't used to be a people person. So working in 9-to-5 taught me a lot of emotional intelligence, taught me how to interact interpersonally out of the workspace and all. So I think it was needed. You know how people say, oh, I wish I started my business earlier. I don't think so. I felt like that was a part where I needed to have been molded and reformed before I started my business, because I can't imagine leaving my university to doing hair. I probably would have stepped on everybody's toes because I was temperament and all, and I really didn't understand how to express myself a lot. But working in a 9-to-5 environment, having people you had to work with in a team, project with, it helped balance that part of me. So what made me leave my 9-to-5 actually was, one, I wasn't so fulfilled as much. You know how you feel like I'm doing something, but I still go to bed asking myself questions like, what is your essence?
Was it a passion for you to like become a stylist?
Yeah, so I feel the only thing I would say to my own journey is that in Yoruba land, they say there's no how far you go in a journey, you come back home. So when I was a child, I have 3 sisters and they had so much hair. I would do all of their hairs, all of it. And I never for once trained or anything. It just came naturally. And my mom can't even do it to save her life, trust me.
Wow.
And so when I was young, she'll be so inquisitive about it. And then she'll just wonder like, how can you do hair? I don't even know how to do it. And I'm like, I just enjoy doing hair. But then, I'm the firstborn of like 4 kids now. So means I have a heap of responsibility on my shoulders. When I was leaving university, I didn't think of passion. I thought of survival, first of all. I thought of, getting into the world and breaking even, doing things that would make me stand out and take care of my responsibilities, actually. So funny thing, my colleague in university told me once, "Adefunke, go and check our final year handbook." He wrote, "You're going to be a hairstylist that will be known." And I can't remember writing that. It's just that I'm sure that when they asked a lot of us, what do you want to be in life? I had no clue. And I'm like, okay, what can you possibly be in life? And I'm like, I love hair. And I just wrote that casually. And so I had to go back and go and check my yearbook. And I'm like, oh wow, I wrote this 5 years ago and this is happening now. Wow. So it wasn't like I thought to do hair. I thought to be a woman that will make a difference in the world. I'm someone that I used to tell people, I'm like, I'm not average minded, and that's one issue I have. I always feel like there's more, I can do more, I can be more. So when I went to 9 to 5, that's what even spurred my growth in my career in telecoms. I would always want to do more. That's how I started my job as an intern before my NYC, and then they decided, okay, no, we're retaining you, because I was always eager. And I think it was because of that eagerness, I was uneasy at some point. I'm like, okay, I'm here. The sector is dying. I'm not doing more than like my daily routine at work. I want more. In the quest of more, I tried other career paths. I tried to be a programmer then. It was good. I could code, but it wasn't fulfilling. Like, I don't wake up yearning to code. And then I tried digital marketing. Nah, I slept all through my classes. So then I just said, okay, you know what can you do? What do you like to do? And I'm like, I like hair. So let me see if I can even work my way through it. Then I remember that you're not even a people person. How are you going to survive? You don't like to talk to women. How are you going to manage it?
So going back to what you said about you want more, does it mean that the corporate environment, you're not feeling fulfilled, or you're not 100% utilized?
So I feel like, I can't say I was utilized, I was overworked, is what I'll use. But as a person, you will know when you're getting to, even as okay, let me use this, my moment now. Even though I'm doing hair, I still feel like I don't want to be behind the chair forever.
Right.
I still every day wake up and I'm like, what's the next plan? You're doing hair, good. You don't want to do hair. I see people that are 50, they still do it, and I'm happy for them, but it's just not my forte.
So do you mean that you get bored at some point?
Exactly. I feel like there's still more to break. There's still more groundbreaking things I can do. I just want to sleep in my old age and feel like I did it all. I accomplished it. I sought after everything I can and will be, and it happened. So it's not just, hair is a passion, but I keep telling my mom and my siblings, hair is like a starting point, because hair is me being exposed to the world.
Right.
And the exposure would bring bigger things for me. So hair is like, after hair, I'm going to business school. I want to see what I can do as a business mogul. From there, I want to open different franchises. I want to go into real estate. You name it. As it's doing me, I'll just do it.
Wow.
I love hair, good, but I mean, I don't want to be behind the chair forever.
That's really, really amazing. So another question I really want to know, how do you make that switch? So were you on your full-time job and still doing your hair business? How do you make that switch? Or do you just stop and start the hair stylist?
No, so in 2018 was when I was having it the most. Like, I was having major crisis. I would lie. I was conflicted in my soul. So I kept on researching. I tried to even go to America for classes, but then they kept on denying me visa. So one day, me and my ex-boyfriend were talking there, and then he's like, oh, see this lady, take her online class, the hair diagram, amazing woman. She's my first mentor into hair. And I took her classes. And from there, I started following her on Instagram. So there's something Instagram would do. When you follow one person, it would give you like, like the list of other people that's similar to that person. So I said just follow all of these other people, and then I didn't even know about frontals then, funny thing, the thing I do now with hair. And then I just checked one of this lady, her name is Stylist on Instagram now, and I saw what she was doing, and she was in Paris, and I'm like, it was like voodoo. Because I didn't understand the ideology then, so I was mesmerized. I'm like, I know this is what I want to try and learn. But then she was in Paris. I was already thinking, okay, am I going to get to Paris? The flight money, I was just already calculating if I even have the amount of money to go for that training. Lo and behold, that was around maybe May. And no, that was around March. And around May, I just saw a flyer. No, around April, I saw a flyer going up. Stylist is coming to Nigeria.
What year was that?
2018. And it was almost like from my mouth to God's ears, because I really did not have that amount of money to spend, but I knew that I was going to take that class. So her coming to Nigeria was like a miracle for me. So I contacted the organizers, and then I just paid for a class then. It was a class of 10 people. And that was like my first time trying a frontal install ever. The class was great, but I felt like I wasn't up to it. So the next day I just took another hair, bought another hair, tried it on my mom, and I just kept on practicing. So bear in mind, all this period, I was still in my 9 to 5, but I was just taking my time to practice. So after a while, I felt like, okay, maybe I should advertise on Instagram and see if I'll get people traction. And I did. And I got a few people. So what I'll do is I wake up 4 a.m. I'll go and do someone's hair as a home service and then resume to my office 9 a.m. And then when I'm done at my office, I'll go to another person's house around 6 p.m. and I'll probably get back to my house around 12, 1, 2 a.m. So I was doing that routine from I think June, July, August. I broke down terribly in October. Like I felt sick. I was bedridden for like 8 days because I literally was working on just 2 hours in a day nap. But I knew that I needed to strengthen my hand and see if I could go into the business properly before quitting my job. So after like November, December, I saw that okay, it was going so well that my boss then had to call me because everywhere around the office there was air. So this was the funny part because I didn't have a store. If clients give me hairs to make it as a wig, during my break time, I'll lower my chair in the office and I'll put the dummy head on like between my laps and I'll be wigging. And then I'll go to the our bathroom then had like a socket. I'll go to the bathroom. I was always in the bathroom and I'll go be styling the wig. And it was so bad that my HR had to warn me that I should go to the bathroom again because literally everybody be banging on the door. They want to peer. I would just be there blow drying and straightening and styling because that was like the only time I had to do it because after that I'll go and deliver the hair, maybe install it, then get home really late to it. And I was working on the island and living in the mainland as at that time. So the journey was a lot. So as at December, my boss had to come here and he was like, do you want to do hair or do you want to continue this year work? Because it's very clear you're very divided. And I knew in my heart that now I had to do hair because it was, as much as I was going through stress and I was barely sleeping, I was burning. Like it was something new to me. It was fascinating to me seeing all I could do with the whole frontal and all. And I knew that I needed to venture into it. So I just decided, I know I'm done with the 9 to 5 or December 2018, which everybody thought was very brash because it wasn't like I had like a large clientele. I had like maybe only 5 to 6 clients. But I'm like, you know what? I was young, or I'm still young anyways. I just felt like, it's like I said, I'm very spontaneous a person. If I think that I need to do something, I will do it. If I feel at it, well, life happens. But most times, I never really feel at it. So I just took a leap of faith, quit my job, took the last 1 million naira savings I ever had in my entire life and rented an apartment of 900 and something K. And then I started to like patch my apartment. I'm sure you can remember my old store there. I was just patching it small. Any day I walk, I see money, I patch. Then I had to borrow from few friends. And then around May again, in 2019, things picked up.
When you now made that decision, you want to leave your full-time job and go into the hair thing, was there any fear? What was your fear at the time?
So I wasn't afraid of nothing. And that comes from the fact that I'm a very spontaneous person. So my fear in life is failure. I hate to be stagnant. I hate to feel stagnant. I hate to feel like I'm not utilizing my entire being. I mean, maybe because growing up in most of my class I was the smartest. Everybody will always be like, you're smart, you're intelligent. So you know, when everybody's looking at you like you're a smart person, it means that you have to always make smart decisions in life. It means that at every point you're looking at yourself like maybe you're not as smart as you think you are. So that challenge of maybe you're not smart, it will always push me. So I got a job with ARM pensions as I time I quit my job. So it wasn't like, okay, my job, yes, was shitty. That was not the only offer I had. I actually had another job. My office didn't even know that I was, me and HR stalled for like 3 months on that job because I was trying to bargain for the money. But the truth is, it wasn't the money. It was because I was just asking myself, do I want to start at 9 to 5 or do I want to do hair? And I knew I wanted to do hair. So I wasn't really scared. The only thing I was afraid of was not doing hair. So I just quit my job with the mind that if it bad pass, I'll go and beg everybody, I know, please, I need a job, send my CV. And I know that because I adapt easily, I can literally work almost anywhere. So I wasn't worried about getting another job. I was only worried of not doing the best with hair. So I don't think so, because quitting my job, I started taking classes back to back. And when I mean back to back, it means that if I saved 200K, somebody else came to meet me and say, some people did come from other countries to US, UK, I'll take their classes, knowing that I was broke. And I'll come back and I'll be broke. But I just knew that I needed to do, so if I needed to do anything I knew was paramount to my growth, I would do it regardless because
So, meaning that you kept on investing,
I did.
no,
I did.
yourself, training,
Back to
getting to
back.
know half of the business you are going into. Which
I did
is,
that a lot. I took so many. I think I took about 6 physical classes and about maybe 4 to 5 online classes in between the space of 2018 and 2019. I just kept on taking classes. Even in 2020, when there was Corona, I still took classes
so
online.
what has it done to you personally, making that switch and then dealing with clients daily, different kind of human being, a space that you haven't been in before? So how was it for you? How is the experience going for you?
So initially, it was overwhelming because I hate to talk on the phone. I'm sure you know that. I hate talk on the. I'm not a talkative if I'm not comfortable with you. If I'm comfortable with you, I can talk forever. So the fact that I had to pick up my phone every day, I had to reply messages. I had to being nice was not even a hard work for me because that came with my 9 to 5 job.
Right.
But managing people's emotions it wasn't so hard because I had to deliver, and delivering was something that I'm used to. The only hard part was managing people, like my communications with them. That was, in fact, it's still difficult. I won't lie. That's like the only part I know that. But every other part of it, I think I try my best because I always try to learn and I unlearn. So if my clients complain about something, I put it to heart. Like last year, most people kept on saying you're working on overdrive. You should get more people,
Right.
and train them. So this year, what I did was I got like 8 more staff now, and I'm doing like a training in January to train. So I have like a 2-year contract. Everybody sign it, and then I will train them extensively this January to February.
So before we go into that was kind of interesting. I'm coming into that soon. So while in this journey right now, have you ever feel that I don't think this is what I really want to do? Should I step back, take a break? It's becoming overwhelming. I'm losing that motivation, that drive for me to wake up and then do what I really love to do. Have you ever feel that way?
Well, so I never feel like, oh, well, this is not what I'm meant to do. But sometimes I get bored easily. So when I get bored, which was this year, I started asking myself, like, okay, Nigeria is not looking like a stable country. And my friend, everywhere, I'm hearing Canada, Canada, Canada. And my best friend, she had gone like 2 years earlier, and then she begged me. I was still forming Nigeria, babe, like, we die here. But now, all my friends are going. I'm here and I'm conflicted in my soul. Like, should I relocate? Because even my clients will be like, you make a lot of money in UK, you know. You make a lot of money in Canada, you know. You make a lot of money in US, you know. So all those things play into my head. But one thing I know for sure is if it's God's plan for me,
right?
Yeah, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. I feel like my spontaneity comes from a spiritual person within me that just says, you know what, my daughter, this is the way, go.
Right.
So that's how, like, it's just how I feel. So I don't feel like I have any regrets doing it. I love doing it. I love making women beautiful. Like, when people leave my store, they have this glow, and that glow irradiates with me. Like, sometimes I go back and look at my work, and then one thing I used to tell myself when I was younger is, you would dine with kings and queens. I used to say to myself, as a child, I was very spiritual too. So my first year doing hair, I met the governor's wife. And I was even like solid. And I told my mom that, I'm like, Mom, I've never even done hair for a long time. This is my first year, and I'm doing the governor's wife's hair. And to me, that was God telling me that this is a journey that you're starting right, and it will still take you further. So every time I tell myself, you die with kings and queens. And I've truly met like important, great people throughout my journey. And I feel like it's just like the beginning to the part where God has said to me, you would dine with king and queen. So I don't think, like I said, even my 9 to 5, I do not regret. I was getting a shitty pay, but I make my salary in a day now. But I knew that, or I know in my heart that I needed that 5 years to be groomed and prepped. So for every journey I'm in, I understand that it is necessary.
Wow.
I'm supposed to be here at the time I'm here. Because if I started earlier or anything, when I started, I can say that God did turn on a light on my head and shined me to the world. Because in Lagos, I know that if you name 3 people that will do your frontal, you name me. and I haven't done it for 10 years. So it doesn't matter how you start or when you start or where you start from. Wherever you are now, I am a strong believer of that is when God wants you to start this journey. So I have zero regrets about anything.
And the believing in yourself that you can
I'm
do
a
it.
strong believer in myself. I believe, like, the belief in myself is legit deep. It's deeper than life, because sometimes my mom look at me like, you're radical, and I'm like, nah, don't worry, trust God, trust me. And it always works. Always.
It will definitely work. So we're going to go on a short break and then we'll be right back. You stay tuned. Welcome back to Be Inspired with Wumi Elebote. So Adefunke, I want to understand how you manage your schedule, because I remember the last time I tried to book you, it's like begging. So how do you manage it to ensure that you're not losing potential clients and then maintaining the one you have currently?
One thing I'm sure of is that everything can be all good. So managing my schedule is very hard, because it's just me that does like the majority of the work. But what I do is I have a Google Sheet I use in booking people. The only issue is that I can't book as much as people would have me book. So last year, as much as I had people, because I had like a few people tell me, oh, Adefunke, we tried to book you, but we couldn't get you. We tried to book you. And I felt so bad about it, but I had to remind myself that those periods you're trying to book you were doing 8 people per day, 10 people per day. So genuinely, it wasn't like you're trying to ignore people. You just do not have the capacity.
Right.
So I just told myself that, you know what, this year, what I would do is work on capacity. Yes, I've already made a statement that, okay, I'm your go-to for this if you need this service. But then I need to be able to accommodate a larger clientele. So I'm getting more people this year, and I'm trying to train them to be as good as I am by God's grace, so that when I'm too unavailable, I can just be like, sorry, ma'am, I'm unavailable, but I promise that if you come in, my assistant or my colleague can do it, and we'll do it well under my supervision.
Right.
So that way, people can then start to use like my other colleagues, and with time, people get comfortable using them. So we can take in more clients. Instead of me doing the 8 and 10 per day, we can accommodate 50.
How nice. So another question I would like to ask, we know that 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. COVID-19 affected entrepreneurs across all sectors, right? So how were you be able to manage it? What was your experience like?
So for me, in the beginning of the year, I was having anxiety, and that's because, like I said, I'm spontaneous. So when I made a lot of money than I made in 2018, 2019, a typical person probably just manage a small shop and continue. I said, no, I need a bigger space. So I went to rent a bigger space, and then started to spend on the bigger space. So I spent over 4 to 5 million on my space, and with the hope that by this first quarter ending, I'll make the money. COVID came. So yeah, that hit me like, oh, I should have stayed in my small space and saved this money. But I'm glad I did get a bigger space, because I could accommodate my siblings. And then during COVID, we had like a lot of bonding time together. So yes, I wasn't making money, but I had more family time that I did not have the year before. So it wasn't really too much of a hassle for me. Then people were making wigs as well. So it wasn't like I was not doing anything at all. I was still making some jara here and then I was using for feeding. And after COVID went, it was like people were locked up and they needed to be free, booked and busy.
Wow.
So it wasn't a bad year.
So what are the lessons that 2020 taught you?
The only thing it showed me is that life is fickle, and cherish your loved ones. So I had a friend, Guna Effect. I know a lot of people probably know her. She died in 2022, and that one got to me because it was so close to my heart, because she's the sweetest person I've ever met. She would book other people for me and still send me message later and be like, oh, thank you so much, sorry we stressed you out. And that to me is intentional, because it's not your service. I can book you and then forget I booked you for someone. But she would still come back and be like, my love, I noticed we stressed you out, I'm so sorry, thank you for coming. So she was a very intentional being. And she was young, she was 25, and she died. So that just reminded me that no matter how far you want to go in life or anything, one thing is inevitable, and that's death. So the people around you should matter at all times. So as I said, COVID didn't really upset me, because I had a lot of bonding time with my family. Like me and my sisters would TikTok all day, all night. It was good. So it reminded me of things that matter the most, because sometimes we get carried away trying to break things and break boundaries and go high and go higher, and then you forget that you're losing loved ones. I'm like that. I can know you and not talk to you for 2 years, and every day I think about you. But COVID took my steps backwards, made me remember that okay, money will come, fame will come, wealth will come, accomplishments you will get, but you should not forget the people that matter, because those people are actually what makes memories. Most times you don't even remember how you made your first million as much.
Wow.
Or how you left being a millionaire to a multi-millionaire. You just realize that, oh, I am a multi-millionaire. But you see all those little moments, you remember, oh, that time we had this, and then it just gives you this joy. So it just reminded me that other things matter than money.
That is powerful, Adefunke.
Thank
I
you.
really, really love that. So what should we be looking forward to? This is 2021. What are the things we should be looking up to?
So for me, 2021 is actually personal growth. So I feel like there's really not much you can do. Business to come, clients to come, we got things would work. But for me, 2021 is personal growth. I want to, so I pay, why I work so hard sometimes because I have to take care of family. So sometimes I don't pay attention to my personal self. I pay attention to the fact that I have to make a lot of money so that I'm not stranded. Should anybody come with any issue, I full ground. But 2021, I actually want to do things for my personal self, like explore the Canada thingy. I mean, I've been holding back on it. Nah, I don't have any excuse. The money they will ask you to have in your account, I think I have it.
Wow.
The time to learn, I think I can make it. So there's no excuse on that. I'm also trying to go to cosmetology school, actually, because I do hair freelance, but I feel like if I need to set up a proper salon that people would get the best quality service, I first of all need to go and be trained in a school properly and be licensed. That way I can also be an educator. I can also like make my products. Just go through the right channel, because I always believe that in anything you do, be diligent at it. So I plan on going to cosmetology school as well. So for me, 2021 is more of me personally growing and grooming myself to be a better person for who I am in the next 5 years. So that's what I'm journeying on this year, actually.
And I could see that going to happen because you're kind of girl that believes so much in yourself, and then that go for exactly what she wants. I have so much positive positive things going on around you, which I really, really appreciate. Seriously, I'm happy that you are who you are, and then you are actualizing your dream. And then you kept on saying something about family. You're a family person, like because I see all the time I come, I see all your sisters around you.
Family will be the aid for me.
I see people around you, and I must also say this: you are good at what you do.
Thank you.
The first time I came to your place, I was like, oh my God, this girl is expensive. You shall do it. But I was like, shall do it. But then when I saw it, I was quite happy. Nobody has ever touched that lace except you. I'm like, I will definitely, if it's not Adefunke, it's not anyone else. So what's your final word to people who they are currently on their 9-to-5 job. They have so much fear. Sure of uncertainties and all that. So what is you've tried it.
Yeah.
Right. So what is the word for them? What do you have to say?
So I know everybody probably say, I'll say leap. No, I'll say plan. I didn't leap first. I planned. The planning phase won't be easy. Like I think I mentioned how I would go and do home service, then go to work. But there are times when they take out of my salary like 10K per day, 5K per day, because I was actually getting late to work, and then I'll stay after work, go and work again. So all those periods I was actually grooming myself mentally for my movement, and I was also saving, because the truth is most people that have fears because they do not have any backbone or financial assistance coming from anywhere. So you're afraid of what if I fail. So what I did was I didn't ask for anybody to help. I worked myself out till I could save. Yeah, because I was paying my sister's tuition fees, and she was in CU then. So that's why I was always broke. So I needed to save a lot of money, which a millionaire was a lot of money then.
Right.
I needed to save that money so that I could get a space. So I mean, by all righteousness, if you feel like you need to leave and do something for yourself, do it, but plan properly so you do not fall or sink. and understand the kind of business you're going to. Because I knew my business I was trying to go into was service. I knew that my hands were the major equipment I needed. So if you know that it's product, you know that you have to plan, you have to buy, you have to ship. So plan everything properly before taking that leap. But take it with the faith that you would succeed, because the strongest belief is in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you will do so well. And it won't be easy. I had anxiety all through 2019. I was sleepwalking. My sister would literally pull me and be like, you're sleepwalking. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'll just wake up and my heart will palpitate. But it worked out because I believed strongly in myself and God. And I knew that God with me, I mean, who can be against me? And Christ in me, the hope of glory. So yeah, just believe in yourself, plan, and then take the leap.
Adefunke, that's so powerful. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
So thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you grab a lot from what Adefunke said. I really enjoy her story. I enjoy her conversation. And she said a lot of things that really strike me. I love is the fact that she was able to move from a full-time job as an accumulate a culture in her. That culture helped her to set up her own side business. Wherever you are now, you can start building it. And don't just jump. You have to plan. Planning should be your number one priority. What is your plan for 2021? If it is what you want to do, start planning now. I'll see you next time on Be Inspired with Wumi Elebute. Bye for now.